Well, good morning. When last we spoke, it was snowing quite heavily. Now it has snowed very heavily. We've got like 5 inches of snow overnight. We get the truck swept off, and then I gotta get everybody fed up and head off to work. It's kind of funny actually. We're 5 inches of snow, and we're not even really into winter yet. By the calendar, I think this is still technically autumn. But when we get like winter, we're gonna have like probably 3-foot snow drifts over by the chicken house. And this morning I had to shovel my way into the shop door over here because the west wind just kind of sweeps and dumps everything. But you get those big heavy snow drifts in there. Some days we've got to shovel for a long time to get in. So I'm just gonna run a bucket of grain out to the sheep behind the shop here. They use over, in our lambing pen, they all spent the night, well, the majority of them spent the night in the shelter out of the elements, but the ones in here behind the shop, they did not. They spent the night outside despite both having a very good shelter. So I'm just gonna run some grain out and put some grain in the shelters, and then I'll maybe encourage them to use it. But I don't know, maybe it's an indication that the weather's not as bad as I think it is. Even though, because it's not very cold, it's just snowy and blowy, which is just miserable, but maybe not for a sheep with a big winter jacket on. So I'm just here in the Taj Bahal. Sheep are getting some grain. It's actually quite cozy in here. Still pretty chilly, but everything under the roof is nice and dry. So I'll give them this little bit of grain, and hopefully it'll encourage them to use this shelter a little bit more and stay out of the element. So I'm just heading into the chicken house here now. So I tell you, it smells like an old veggie tray in here. I gave them a whole bunch of old vegetables here last night. Figured they'd get their greens. But yeah, it's kind of aromatic in the coop now. One thing I forgot to do last night when I was in here was grab all the eggs. So I'm hoping it's not cold enough that everything's frozen and we've cracked a bunch of eggs. Rookie move. You think it would be our first day with chickens or something? You got to know that. Get your eggs every day, especially in the wintertime. Actually, in the wintertime, probably need to get them more than once a day. Especially when it's like minus 30, minus 40. They will crack, and then they're done, right? So that wind has been blowing snow in from the east, and it's absolutely brutal. Usually if the wind comes out of the east, we usually get about 3 days of bad weather. It's not shortchanging us at all this time around. I'm just gonna run some grain out to these chickens, even though I gave them a whole mass of vegetables. And they'll have lots to eat. Still want to make sure they got all their grains so they have a good balanced diet. We're not shortchanging them anything. And they're usually pretty good. Like they'll eat what they need to eat. We notice that definitely in the summertime when they're outside eating worms and bugs and grasshoppers and whatnot. But we'll make sure we give them everything they need. I gave a couple handfuls of grain to the pretty ones as well. Yeah, we still have the other chickens that we hatched out in behind the shop, and some were under the sea can, and anyways over the summer, and I'm pretty sure half of those are actually roosters. We're still feeding them. Probably gonna try and keep one rooster, maybe not. It might end up in a soup pot, I'm not sure. So I am super excited. It's still snowing right now. I'm not excited about that at all. Actually, it looks like we got about 6 inches just during the daytime here. No, yesterday I looked in the deep freeze and we had like 4 chickens and 2 pounds of ground beef left, and things were looking pretty sparse. I got a phone call from the butcher this morning. Our lambs are done. There you go. I know that doesn't look like much, but that's Agatha. That's all our sausage and ground lamb put together, so that we know more shenanigans out of her. All the rest of it's going to go in the big freezer, ready for our customers to pick up later today. Well, I was going to tell you it's quit snowing, but it actually hasn't quit snowing. It's just slowed down snowing. It snowed down quite a bit. Anyways, so tonight it's going to get down to minus 20. So we've got this, 12 hours ago we got 6 inches. Over the course of the day we got another 6 inches. And then it's going to hit minus 20. Fantastic. Love it. So before I run out and feed the pigs here, we got some old bread and stuff we're going to feed the pigs tonight. Before I do that, I got to shovel the walk out in front of this door, or there's no way tomorrow morning I'm going to be getting into the shop here. You know what I just remembered? A couple years ago, I actually bought a leaf blower for moving snow, and everybody thought I was crazy, and the thing worked amazing. It worked for one winter, and then it shit the bed. I was actually at an auction last year, and I got another one. So I'm going to fire this baby up, see if we can't move some snow. So I just got the pigs and the sheep fed, and I'm in the chicken house now. Give the girls a snack. Collected today's eggs. We only got 14 eggs today, which is about 6 to 8 less than what we usually get. I'm expecting even less tomorrow. It's gonna dip down to -20. So hopefully the girls keep up the good work. But yeah, you know, a cold weather dip and some fluctuations. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw a lapse in their egg production. Anyways, I would love to stay out here all evening and talk chickens and egg production, but there is a cup of tea in the house along with some fruit cake that's calling my name. So I'm gonna let you go for now. I hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.